Kevin Durant just traded to the Houston Rockets, and this trade, I think, made perfect sense for both teams. So Kevin Durant goes to the Suns. The Suns get back Jalen Green, Dillon Brooks, the 2025 first-round pick, which is the 10th overall pick, plus 5 future second-round picks, and that's according to Shams of ESPN. So this trade, I think, is actually perfect for both teams. So for the Rockets, you get Kevin Durant, who, even though he is 36 years old, about to be 37, he is an incredible player. He was the best true jump shooting player in the NBA this season. This year, he averaged 26.6 rebounds and 4 assists a game. He was shooting 52% from the field. I mean, he is still a incredible basketball player, and on a team that really had nothing to play for most of the year. Kevin Durant is a unique player. I think Kevin Durant is one of these guys in the league that just wants to play ball. There are a lot of guys that don't, that I think they want to be in the public eye and they want to be famous. They want to have all of these nice things. Like Ja Morant comes to mind. Like, they want to have the appearance of being an NBA player and want what comes with being an NBA player, but maybe doesn't want to play basketball. Like, maybe they're just not a true hooper. Kevin Durant, for all of the flaws that he has, and he can be kind of flaky, I think, is online too much. I think he looks at the stuff that is said about him a little bit too much to be a guy of a player of his caliber. But for what it's worth, he is a straight-up hooper. Like, he just wants to play basketball. That's all he wants to do. And at 36, about to be 37 years old, he can still do it with the best of them. So this is, I think, a good trade for both. The Rockets get Kevin Durant, who I think now pushes the Houston Rockets into true championship contention. I truly believe that this can push them to a point where they could be competing for a championship next year. Obviously, we're recording this before Game 7 of the NBA Finals, so I'm not sure what happens with Oklahoma City and the Pacers, but we have been saying it for multiple years that the team that wins the championship is going to be the next dynasty. Well, let's hold off on that just a little bit. If the Pacers are to win the NBA Finals tonight, Oklahoma City's not a dynasty. The Nuggets have their flaws. The second apron in the new CBA that the players signed and that they came to terms with, the second apron is really decimating teams and decimating the longevity of their runs. And so I do think that in the Western Conference, getting Kevin Durant to the Houston Rockets gives you a guy that is going to put you in title contention. You got to deal with the Thunder, you got to deal with the Nuggets, you're going to have to deal with the Lakers, and then it's the Rockets right there at that probably that number 4 spot in terms of the hierarchy of the Western Conference in the league. So that being said, this is a great trade for the Houston Rockets. Now, you can say, oh, well, they gave up some young players. Part of the reason that this Rockets team was so hyped, I guess you can say, is because of the young players that they have. You have Amen Thompson, you have Jalen Green, you have Alfred Sengun. You have all of these guys that are young and can play at a high level. And Dillon Brooks, I know, is a little bit older, but still a young player. But now, you got a guy who's 37 years old and is still producing like he's one of maybe the top 10 players in the league. This is what you're getting in Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant, over the last 5 games that he played, they went 3-2, but he had 42 points, 38 points, 30 points, 23 points. His last game against the Rockets, he did not play particularly well. He had 11 points, 7 rebounds. But the guy can still play, and he went on a really crazy run at the end of the season last year. You look at the Rockets and you say, all right, they're getting rid of Jalen Green, who's this super athletic player loves to play above the rim, but you already have one of those guys in Amen Thompson. You already have a guy that is a super athletic dude. And look, Jalen Green, I think if you are the Suns and you're getting back Jalen Green, this is actually a pretty good trade-off. Jalen Green this year averaged 21 points, 4 rebounds, and 3 assists a game. He was about 42% from the field. Hyper athletic, really young guy, 23 years old. But he struggled in the postseason. That series against the Warriors, they should have won. And Jalen Green was a big reason that they struggled. He averaged 21 points a game in the regular season against the Golden State Warriors in their last 5. 9 points, 6 rebounds, 5 assists. Next game, another loss, 8 points, 3 rebounds, 1 assist. The next game, 11 points, 8 rebounds, 2 assists. Then the next one, 12, 5, and 3. And then he ended his season with only 8 points, 4 rebounds, and 1 assist. Didn't shoot the ball well at all. He had any game that he played against the Golden State Warriors shot less than 40% from the field. And some of this is just being young. Some of that I am sure that you're going to mature out of, but he's not ready for that moment, it doesn't seem. And the Suns, on the flip side, they're not ready for an NBA Finals run. They're not there. So getting Jalen Green to kind of pair with Devin Booker to see what that can grow into. You add Dillon Brooks, who is that bruiser. He's the muscle of the team, the guy that's going to defend, one of the best offensive players on the other team, and also, maybe try to rough him up a little bit. You get the 10th overall pick that you can start, and then you get 5 first or second round picks. And the Phoenix Suns right now don't have anything, and so this is a big trade for them. This was the only trade that really made sense to me. I know that Kevin Durant said he wanted to play with the Spurs, but if the Spurs were to do that, I think that they were saying they are ready to compete right now and try to get to an NBA championship, and I don't think that the Spurs are there yet. They have a really young group of really talented guys, and so that would have sped up that timeline to try to win a championship, and I don't think that that's right now, and I think that they know that. And so I'm not sure how heavily involved the Spurs were in trade negotiations. I'm not sure. This is the only team that made sense. It didn't make sense for the Miami Heat. They don't really have, number one, I don't think they have the assets, and they don't have the team around them to try to compete for a championship, so it didn't seem right. And then you have the Houston Rockets. So this was the fit that should have been the thing all along, and it turns out it wasn't. So I think this is a great fit. Kevin Durant's going to immediately elevate this team to a team that compete for an NBA championship, or at least compete and get to an NBA Western Conference Finals. So Kevin Durant traded to the Houston Rockets. The Rockets get Kevin Durant. Suns get Jalen Green, Dillon Brooks, the 10th overall pick in the NBA draft that's coming up, and then 5 future second-round picks. And be sure to subscribe if you don't already on the YouTube channel. See you in the next video. Peace.